Hey everybody, this is Steve with TentandTable.com, and today we're going to walk through a setup of one of our 10x10 West Coast weekender frame tents. We've just released these not that long ago, and it's about time that we showed off a couple different sizes. So the first one we're going to start off with is the 10x10. So the first thing you'll notice is when you get your packages, you're going to get 3 boxes with the 10x10 West Coast frame tent, specifically the weekender version. It's going to come with this box here. You'll see comes with all of your pipe work. And the second box is going to come with all of your fittings and the carry bag for the fittings. And the third box is going to contain the top, a carry bag for the top, and the instructions for your tent. So at this point, we'll unbox everything and show you what's inside. Okay, so now we have everything unboxed. We'll go over what we have in each box just to give you an idea of what you should have in your boxes. All right, so here we have the fittings box that does come with a carry bag for all of your fittings. You should have your corners. You should have your 4-way crown. You should have 4 ratchet straps. You should have your stakes. These mini stakes, these hook stakes, these are gonna go in your base plates. And then you have your larger stakes to use with your ratchets. You should have 4 of those to go along with your 4 ratchets. And then moving down here, we have our tent box open. We have our tent top, and of course a really nice storage bag that does actually have nice straps on it, and it does seal up, so that's a nice bag. And then finally, we have our pipe box. That's gonna come with all of the piping you're gonna need to set up your 10x10 tent. There's really only 4 different size pipes here, so we're going to get these assembled, show you what we got, and of course the pipes also come with a nice storage bag so that you can keep everything together for easy assembly. Okay, so we're going to start assembling our pipes. You've got quite a few to put together here. So right here we have a part number 1 and a part number 4. Both of these together are going to combine to make your legs for your tent. So I also have with me a bolt and a wing nut. So we're going to go ahead and put these together. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to finger tighten them, but it is just a Phillips head screw. I do recommend you guys go around and just tighten down enough. Make sure that they're nice and secure. And there you have your leg. Okay, next up we have part 1 and part 2. We put these together. These are going to make your spreader bars, or the perimeter pipe, they're also called. So we'll go ahead and get these together using a bolt and a wing nut once again. And here you have your 10-foot spreader. Last but not least, we have part number 1 and part number 9. We're going to combine these pipes to make our hip rafters. That's going to go from the perimeter of the tent up to the top of the tent. So again, we're just going to put those in together. We got another bolt and another wing nut. And we'll put the other 3 together, and we will be just about ready to assemble our tent. You have a couple fittings that come with your 10x10 West Coast weekender frame tent. One of them is your corner fitting, and the other one is your 4-way crown. Now, both of these fittings have little screw holes in them that you're going to use to lock in your piping with. I recommend that before you put the tent together, you go through and you just kind of pre-screw in some of these eye bolts that come with it. And basically what's going to happen here is when you put your tent pole in there, you're going to screw this down, and that's going to lock the tent pole in place. So while you're putting these in ahead of time, make sure that you don't put it up too far and it goes into the pipe, because you won't be able to, can you see that, Rye? You won't be able to get the pipe in there, so you want to make sure that that's nice and flush. So put it in just a couple of turns, and you can see there's another one down here. And on the 4-way tee, there's actually 4 of them. So I recommend you just go ahead and get ahead of the game, get all these in there so that when you're putting the tent up in the air, it's a lot easier just to go ahead and get these all tightened down. But at this point, we are going to put the tent perimeter pipes down where you want the finished tent to be. In this case, we're going to set up right in this nice flat grassy area. So first we'll set down the perimeter pipes, give you an idea of how big the tent is and how much room you have. Then we'll start laying out the fittings, and you'll see slowly but surely this is going to start coming together. So just to review what we have here right now is we have our perimeter pipes laid out. Our perimeter pipes, or our spreader pipes, consist of a number 1 and a number 2 pipe. And then we have our rafters, which consist of a number 1 and a number 9 pipe. So essentially we have all the pipes we need for the top framework of our tent. We'll get the fittings placed and show you what we have. At this point, we have all of our framework down, we have all of our fittings down, all 4 corners, and of course the top 4-way crown for your 10 by 10 weekender tent. So we're gonna go ahead and start to get this assembled. You can see we already have our screws, our thumb screws started on the corner fitting. You're gonna have your perimeter pipes are gonna be attached with screws and bolts. So these open holes are gonna go to the left and to the right, respectively, of the corner here. Matt, would you hand me a screw, buddy? So you want to keep these screws away from the tent top. So keep that in mind when you're putting your frame together, that the wing nut is going to be on the inside of the tent frame. This is going to prevent your tent top from getting ripped or scratched up or torn during installation or while it's being used. So it's very important to get these things installed the right way. And again, for demonstration purposes, I'm just thumb tightening this. You should go around with a Phillips head screwdriver. So we're gonna go around and continue to the next 3 corners. And when we get to the 4th corner, we're gonna show you what the next step is. Okay, so now at this point, we've got all of our pieces laid out. We've got 3 corners in. We're down to 1 more corner. What I like to do here is make it a little bit easier for you guys when you're putting that crown in, is you're just gonna assemble these lightly. You're not gonna screw these in right away, and that's gonna give you some play when you're setting up your crown. So at this point, we've got the frame together. We still have to screw in these 2 pieces and tighten down these 2 thumb screws here. Obviously the second one when we get the leg in. But for now, we're just gonna put this in loosely, get the rest of the crown in place, the rest of the rafters in place, and then we'll tighten everything down. Now, it's important to note that the reason why we left that loose down there, because it gives you some play. It makes it a lot easier to give your pipe some room to move around. So another thing that's important to note is, again, all of our screws and our wing nuts are facing down away from the tent. You want to keep that like that so that, again, you're not damaging your tent top when it's maybe in the wind or during setup. But at this point, we're just about ready to skin this tent. We're gonna go around, give everything a nice tightening down, make sure that it's all secure, and we'll come back and show you how to put the tent on. Okay, so at this point we have the frame assembled. You can see over here to your right, it's looking great. It is ready to receive its brand new tent top. So here we have it. You wanna make sure that when you're setting up your tents, use a ground cover. I mean, the grass out here looks great. They just got done cutting it. It's really well kept. But you never know, there might be a little stick or a little stone in here that could really mar your tent top and give it maybe a not so great look on its very first use. So do yourself a favor, invest in a nice ground cover, a nice tarp, and keep that tent top as fresh as possible. So Matt and I are gonna spread this brand new tent top out. We'll get it set up over the top. So we'll see you after we're done with that. When you're getting ready to lay your tent top on, it's probably a good idea to put a few straps onto the frame. when you're dragging it over the top, it's gonna make it really nice and easy to get it lined up the first time without having to drag it left and right, left and right. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. So you really just, while you're here, while these are exposed, nice and easy to get to, it's nice and easy just to go ahead and get these straps taken care of right away. And it's gonna make stretching the tent top out a lot easier. And it's always a good idea to put 1 or 2 straps on here just to make sure the tent top doesn't fly off on you. It's not windy at all out here today, but just make a habit of better safe than sorry. Okay, so at this point we have the tent skinned. We have it somewhat secured with a few straps. We're gonna grab a couple of legs, get this tent up on 2 legs so we can go in and finish strapping it and tightening it down. The nice thing about these 10x10s, it's super light. You and your buddy can have a great time setting this up in probably about 20 minutes, all realistically said and done. The first time you set it up, there's a lot of parts, it's gonna seem a little bit overwhelming, but once you get everything put together, it really is a pretty quick and easy installation. So we're gonna get the rest of the straps put on here, start getting a couple base plates put on. We'll walk you through the rest of it, but so far so good. Okay, so our tent is up in the air. All the legs are secured into the frame using our thumb screws. You can see that your legs go into the corner fitting, and you're just gonna thumb screw that down nice and tight. All of our straps are on, surrounding the entire perimeter. It's important to note that when you are putting the top on, you're putting these straps on, just put these straps on loose, just enough to keep the tent top on. And then when you're tightening them down, you're actually gonna start in the corners, okay? And the reason for that is it's gonna pull, you can see that square at the top, it's gonna pull that nice and close, nice and center. So you start in the corners, and that's gonna get that thing nice and square on top of that crown, and then you can just go ahead and tighten up the rest of them. You will notice that there is a fire label on all of them. It's gonna give you the size of the tent top, the material, the model number, when it was manufactured, and it does in fact have the California State Fire Marshal label on it. Of course, with all of your tents, you're gonna need base plates or feet for your tents. So here we have it. Of course, it has a thumb screw and the welded nut on there to secure it to the leg. And of course, we include little hook stakes. We wanna make sure that you're able to secure your tent to the ground. It is a lightweight tent, albeit a very heavy-duty lightweight tent. The more secure, the better. So you'll get 3 stakes per base plate, and the base plate goes on. It's pretty easy. You just make sure that your wing nut is nice and flush here. Lift up a corner, drop it in like so, tighten it down, install your stakes for added security, and you'll be ready to go. So at this point we have everything secure. All of our wing nuts are nice and tight. All of our Phillips head screws with the wing nuts are nice and tight. The thumb screws are on. Strapping's good to go. Our tent top's squared. Everything looks great. The last step is going to be staking your tent down. We provide you with 4 1-inch tractor straps for your 10x10 West Coast weekend or frame tent. So here we have the strap end. And basically all you're going to do is you're going to take the hook end, you're going to loop it around the fitting like so. Put one loop, or put one end of the strap through the loop on the hook. Pull that all the way through. And now you're going to have a way to secure your tent down to the staking point. So you could just feed that back through here to give it a nice finished look. And you're going to use your ratchet strap, and you're going to stake down here, and you'll give it a nice clean finished look on the end. I'll get one started so you guys can see how that works.